Team, once again, welcome. My name is Francisco, and it is with great honor and pleasure that I say welcome to the second Normal community event. For those of you who remember, or for those of you who did not participate, almost 1 month ago, we had a chance to listen to Killian and Max about the No Lost Shoes documentary, and also we talked about the No Trace program. For today, and I don't know about you, but I already shared this on Telegram. I just feel some like starting line anxiety. We are super excited to have you all here to learn, but also get inspiration from our special guests. For today, we will count with Emelie Forsberg, so a normal athlete, but also with Birte Fahrbach, the normal product director, as they will share their expertise on topics such as the trail running industry, shoe design, running training, and motivation. Before I will pass the mic to Emelie and Birte, we will also have something new for today's event. For those of you who are planning to buy some normal products, or if you like to ask some questions regarding, for example, size, please let us know on the chat, and we will have two personal shoppers available. So two team members from the customer support team available to help you in a very personalized way. So if you like to talk with them, please let us know in the chat, and we'll be more than happy to share you some specific link that will guide you to talk with Martina and Albert from our customer support team. So let's jump right into our conversation. And to kickstart, I will challenge both our speakers with one question. And let's start with Emelie. So would you be willing to tell us a little bit more about you and, for example, something curious, something like a story that might be a curiosity for our members? Or, for example, why don't you tell us what's your superpower? Let's go.
Yes, first, so nice to meet you all here in this normal event. I'm very happy to interact more with you, and yeah, super glad to be here. Yeah, what will I say? I'm Emelie Forsberg. I'm a professional runner and ski mountaineer, mountain lover, a mom of 2 little girls, living on a little farm. I love working outside. If I wasn't a runner, I probably would be a farmer. Yeah, I just love working with nature in different seasons, and love finishing a day being super tired from cutting wood or planting or anything. I'm a farmer in my heart. I think that's all.
You want to go?
Yeah, that is luckily I had a little bit of time to prepare for this. Francisco, thanks for passing the mic first to Emelie. So welcome everyone. It's super nice for me as well to spend a bit of my evening here in Mallorca with both of you, talking about Tomir and in general about Normal. A little bit more about myself. So I originally come from Namibia, which is just above South Africa, so truly African at heart. And I've lived overseas for quite a while now, and huge outdoor lover. So Namibia is basically a land of the landscape, so they say. So we also have a small little farm. So that's the one thing we have in common, Emelie. I'm not so sure we have the same pace while running, but so I come from a very, very nature orientated background and love being outside. So spent some time in Germany for a while, traveled a lot, spent some time in Australia or other parts of the world. And then before it pulled me back home, I came to the island because a lot of the island reminds me about home as well.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes, sure.
What's the the animals there? Like they are so wild and big. Like what are the most like exciting animals in a
well if you want to hear, I mean, if you want to hear about the biggest, it's most probably the elephant. But I think I mean, safari is definitely something that is normal to us. You know, I mean, I've been telling friends the story. My weekends existed of going camping, you know, with a tent or a rooftop tent, and then you just go outside, spend time amongst giraffes, various antelopes, zebras, rhinos. You have to watch out for the lions, but it's magnificent when it comes to the animal wildlife.
Yeah. Oof.
So I do miss that a little bit. Here on the Mallorcan mountains, the closest I get to an animal is a funky goat, but they're also quite entertaining. Yeah.
Birte, do you want to go and start, for example, with one question? For example, let me guide you. Let's go with the trail running industry, for example, or trail running community.
Yeah, I think I'm very excited to spend time here to talk about product, but I think before that, I want to also before I jump into products, I would like to talk a little bit about the trail industry or the trail community. And I have a question for Emelie on that as well. But I think the trail community is basically all its people in all the places is basically our why of why we create products. Okay, so I think what we've seen in the industry just recently that it's the trail running or any activities in the outdoors are basically expanding and developing into such a fast moving endurance sport category. So a lot of experts in the industry bet on trail running to be the next great category within the outdoors. I mean, you see that in performance brands that are not really rooted in the outdoors, that they start to invest in teams, trail running teams, to create greater visibility. You see performance brands on the road actually opening up their sector and going into widen their product portfolio to be more on the outdoors. And lastly, I think I've seen just recently a lot of outdoor specific startups that are really interested in, or that raise interest in the fashion world. So there's a lot of fashion oriented brands that want to do collaborations with outdoor brands. So that were purely in the past only focused on fashion. So for me personally, being in the industry for around about more than 8 years, I would say more than 10 years in the outdoor industry, I see a huge movement. And for that, Emelie, I mean, how do you see it? You've been racing and running for about 13 years. How do you see this change reflecting on the start lines?
Yeah, I think it's really, really cool that the sport is growing. Like 13 years ago or 15, even like almost 20 years ago when I did my first race, we were like 20 people who knew each other, and like almost the same 13 years ago when I ran my first international race. Like we were a little group and we knew each other and we loved being in the mountains. And year by year it has been growing, the sport. But what I really think it's cool is that like it's very diverse. It grows in different directions. Like we have small races like Hard Rock and Berkeley, and like local races, technical races that are like in a way more pure mountain, or like a bit like, yeah, less crowded, like and then we have UTMB, like these huge events and circles, and we have these kind of fastest known times. So it's such a big spectra, and I really love that. And I think it's really, really good. As you also said, like trail running is something that is maybe a bit hip right now, or like it's start to be cool. But I think it's good because many of us like living in cities, and like I think people needs to have a relation with nature somehow, and trail running is a great way for that. And it's so cool because, yeah, trail running outdoor, it's really for everyone.
Yeah, yeah. And do you also find it, I mean, just on your comments there, I think I can only agree with that, seeing that from the industry. And I think even the race organizers and the event organizers are doing a better job every year, you know. So what was in the past negotiated or was as a niche sport, now we have all this live commentary that, in my opinion, gets better year by year, with great commentators such as Dylan or Corinne on the microphone, you know. So in my opinion, it's reaching a far wider reach these days. So do you also feel that it's becoming a little bit more of a spectator sport now than ever before when you go
Yeah.
through the trails?
Yes, for sure. And it's many good things with that too. Like I find it super fun to watch like a golden trail race, or like it's super exciting. So yeah, mostly good with that.
Yeah. And I think that's basically brings me a little bit to us and NNormal. And I think this is also exciting to tell our community here a little bit more about us and what we do and how we do things. Because just to your point that we said, we want to invite everyone to enjoy the outdoors. And I think that is our biggest mission, that we as a team not just wanted to create for ourselves, but that we actually all live as well. So we want everyone to enjoy, but also respect nature. So before I will actually jump into the product per se, I also want to tell the community about our product fundamentals. And I think, Emelie, we've created them with our ambassadors a little bit together. So I think you can only most probably agree and comment on it afterwards, but maybe some of the people don't know it out there. Everything in product creation that we do is we base it on 4 fundamentals. And that is, one, that we want to create a really small, unique, but a really precise range. So it's really about a strong head to toe outfit. So we mainly focus on shoes, yes, but we also equip our ambassadors and our athletes with a full head to toe outfit. Our range is unisex, and it will be unisex also going forward, but also with a focus on having women specific designs or cut lines, because we do have just different forms and shapes. So that is fundamental 1 that we take into consideration. Everything we create needs to be really unique to the purpose of the user. On the second point is we really strongly believe on the timeless design. So we don't really think seasons, but we think use case in the end. So we're really approaching a simple and clear design approach, but also a general collection approach. And I think we're a little bit shaking up the retail industry with this, because as we don't think in seasons, we think longevity is that most of our range is actually available the whole year. We don't do color updates every 6 months, but we believe in this longevity. And maybe that is also something that the people out there are believing and thinking about. Emelie, we feel quite strongly about this point. I don't know if you want to add something to that.
Yeah, no, I really love it. And I can see that, like, as a product director and designer, it must be like super interesting to think this kind of new way, like yeah. And I'm myself, I'm really like, I'm just so happy to like not have 20 different options. Like I just want to focus on going out there and be happy, confident, and like feel good in the clothes. So I feel really free.
Yeah. I can tell you, as a product manager and director, I think I really believe in this approach, and it's absolutely great. And then obviously, I think designers are also always looking into newness and what we can do. But of course, we have special drops here and there that are linking to certain races. But that's basically the second really true other point that we are focusing on. Going to the third fundamental, it's wanting to be durable and functional. We're giving ourselves this concept of aging well through adventure. And I think this is where we have a really strong standpoint, because in my and our opinion, durability is the new sustainability. So that is really something that we are focusing on testing the products. We really have a long wear test phase 2 actually in the product creation process, where we really collect as many kilometers as possible in order to make sure that our shoes are lasting above 800 or even above 1,000 kilometers, because that is really something that we also try to achieve, or that we are aiming to achieve. And then on the fourth point, we basically focus on innovation as well. So that is something that is very close to Killian's heart, to our heart, but we've also got the best team and the best ambassadors there. And even we have also spoken, Emelie, about certain women's specific products maybe that we're doing. So looking forward to talk about a little bit there.
Yeah.
What I would like to showcase now, I think everyone's quite excited about this, is this new colorway that we just launched, I think last week, 2 weeks ago, 15th of March, was the new sand color Tomir, right before the season opener. In April, the trail season starts. Emelie, have you tried the shoe? Have you had it? I know you do. Do you have some comments on it?
Yes. I really like it. It's a bit more robust than the Cherag, and I like to mix it up on my trainings. Think it's good for the feet to get, a little bit of both. And this is more, I use it more if I go for a bit slower runs, especially in the forest. I like it. And I really like it also just like hiking with the girls, or walking around hiking.
Yeah. And I think that's exactly what we as a team were also like striving for when to do that. And it comes down to our consumer types and who are the people that we would like to focus on. And I think you might feel that as well. Like you say, you know, sometimes you have two different mindsets, but you're still the same person. You see yourself as this core athlete running races, really where it's all about pushing the limits, being as light as possible. So this is where the Cherag is obviously really designed to focus really well on these kind of elements. So the shoe is filled with those attributes, with really all bunch of technologies, then about the fact that you want to be as light as possible. Then we have the outdoor enthusiasts, and this is what you refer to now when you have the Tomir on. Sometimes you just want to go spend the whole day out there and go for a hike, or maybe mix it up with the run. And this is exactly what we were achieving with this. And a little bit about the sand colorway, because I think this is really something that we want to just see. We have some questions. I don't know, are we interacting with the questions, or Francisco, help me out here?
Right now we have already 6 questions. Let me see if we have at least one that might match with the topic right now. Well, actually, there's one from Cito that is focused for that. Well, Cito asked the question for Birte, but maybe we can also extend the question to Emelie. So Cito is asking, what is your most like normal product? I think that's from the 6-7 questions that we have already. This is the question that matches better with the topic right now. So what is the most like normal product? We can go with this one, then you can just continue with the conversation.
Emelie, do you go ahead with that?
Yeah, I understood the question, like the more popular.
I would say it's more like favorite
or personal.
I would go. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
personal favorite.
yeah, like I love the Cherag shoes. They really fit my shoe and everything that I like to do in the mountains. But I'm super happy with the shorts. I love the design of the shorts and the fabric, and and also I can choose. The merino wool is another favorite.
Yeah,
that's all for now.
Birte, for you might be hard to choose, like, you know.
Yeah. It's really hard. I could get to that level and say what is my favorite colorway of the shoes or the apparel, but I think I must say that I am a huge fan of the current colorway of the Tomir, and it was actually also for myself. It was the Tomir that I was looking forward to the most, and I'm happy to also have it on my feet now, because it is speaking. It's showing so much of what camper and normal is all about. You know, the Tomir has such a strong design language. I think you can really see that there's a camper who's our co-founded company, who owns NNormal as well, and then co-founded by Killian. They are really in the shoemaking industry for over 140 years. So there's a lot of knowledge, and they are known for really designing contemporary and unique designs. So all of this heritage is infused into our models in NNormal as well, which is magnificent. And when I came and started 6 months ago, it's really amazing to see how much thought process goes into designing this. And I really can't wait to share a little bit more about this, because you might look at the colorway and think, oh, this is a nice colorway, but there's actually so much story behind it. And especially the sand colorway, we gave it the tagline called Back to the Origins. Okay, so the sea and the mares is actually, I'm also learning a lot of Mallorquin since I'm on the island, but mares is a term that is used on the islands, and that is referring to the local sandstone. So when you come to Mallorca, you see that a lot of buildings are built with that kind of stone. Even the cathedral in Palma has elements of that. And it's really a true value to the island. I mean, the blueness of the beaches and the sandstone color on all these mountains here surrounding in my background. This is where the designers took all that inspiration from. So we as NNormal, we want to blend in with nature. That is our biggest key. So as you can see on the Tomir itself, I hold it up into the camera again. You can really see I have to go a little bit back because of the background, but you can see the contour lines over here. So they are actually reflecting all the contour lines that you see on topographical maps that blend in, and the colors, the light blue and the sand, and the basically merge into our storytelling. So also, if you would like to see what the major shoe is about, and I think you can see that we have a lot of cushioning in this shoe, and this is exactly what we achieved for Emelie in order for you and everyone to spend the day out in the mountains for as long as possible. Okay, so we've got an 8mm drop, whereas the Kirak, for instance, has a 6mm drop. So in the Kirak, which is your favorite shoe, and also I love running in it myself, you are really low to the ground. Okay, so you can really feel extremely stable. It has a bit of a different feel. It's not necessarily for everyone, which we're aware of. So therefore, the Tomir widens up our consumer base a lot more. As I mentioned, it's got an 8mm drop with a 31 to a 23mm stack height, so a little bit more cushioning than the Kirak. And we really focus on this clean design. We have a really strong material. The upper is made of a ripstop, so really as versatile use as ever, so pretty much indestructible. And then we have aggressive lugs. Let me show you the lug profile over here, which is also very, very different to what we have on the Kirak. So we have 5mm lugs. Really, like you said, you can run through the grass, you can run up more on the mountains where it gets a little bit more technical. So this is exactly where we have that fitting in. Emelie, do you have any other comments on the shoe? Do you have any preferred terrain that you use it for?
No, as I said before, it feels really good on the trails around here. It's like forest, dirt. Yeah, it's like pretty tricky terrain. And as well as like slabs, rocks. At the moment, we only have snow, so I use it with spikes, and that's great. But no, it's I really like it as a shoe to mix it up with.
Yeah, yeah. And I think there's one quote that I also want to quote from our designer, because it struck me, and it says that in the end, all it comes down to is enjoying nature and not altering it. And I think this is our biggest message for us as NNormal, as a brand, to blend in with this, our strategy. This is what we believe. And for the community and the people here who maybe not know us just yet and are getting to know us, we are really a small team, very passionate team within NNormal, and really here to enjoy the outdoors, and together with our strong ambassadors and athletes, create the best possible product. So for myself, and as well as the team, athlete co-creation is really, really important. And I think, Emelie, without saying now, without representing too quickly what we are going to be launched next year, but how has your process been with us when it comes to co-creating exciting products coming next year?
Yeah, I think it's really cool to be able to like come up with an idea and then get like, yeah, maybe we can do this, or like, because I don't have the same obviously knowledge as you do, so it's like I throw one thing out and then you like, okay, we can do like this, and then I can try, and then like, no, it wasn't, like, yeah, need to change things, and then like it's a really nice work we can do with creating this new products.
Yeah, it's super exciting, because I remember when you pitched the idea to us, it's just one little thought process that you have to optimize the product, and I thought it was so astonishing, and then we as a team just start running with it. And I think that's the beauty about co-creating together with athletes. And what is also really nice about us as NNormal, we are a really small team, so it's we are involved in a little bit of everything, you know. So we have our great sports marketing colleagues, commercial colleagues, development, design. So everyone, we are so small that everyone knows a little bit of what everyone else is doing and commenting on each other, you know. So there's a certain degree of humbleness towards us, and you can really, we are small and we're learning every day, but it's absolutely nice to learn and to be challenged by us. So as a co-working team, I don't know what your experience has been. The brand just celebrated its anniversary a while ago, 1 year. Do you want to share a little bit about how it was, the journey for you and NNormal?
Yeah, obviously I knew what was going on behind the scenes, and I was just super excited for it. I felt that, okay, this is where I belong, this is where I want to go, and this is where I want to put my passion in and be a part of, and very proud ambassador.
That's great. And Emelie, tell us a little bit more about, I know that 2021 was a year of focus for you on more of the family side, you know, and then in 2022 you started building your base slightly. When the brand started, you were also visible at races, running races, doing really well. 2022 was a year of you to form your base again. Now it's 2023, race calendar, or the trail season is just kicking off. What's the plans for you in 2023?
Yeah, as you said, 2021, we had our second daughter. So 2022 was, I really needed to build a base. I didn't feel like I was strong enough to be able to perform well. So I took my time and just try to build a good base, and now I feel ready again, and I feel like super excited to compete again at highest level. And yeah, I'm feeling really good. Like we're having a group of pretty strong runners here, like Jon Albon, Henriette, Ida Nilsson, Johanna Åström. So I got like good runners to train with, and I'm super happy with what I've seen so far. I'm in a pretty good shape, and that feels really good to say, because I'm not easy on myself when it comes to that, and I'm just super excited for the summer ahead.
Yeah, that's super exciting. And Emelie, I'm just so curious, when you run on such a professional level, then I know you've got your own company that you also do with a couple of friends. So you're also an entrepreneur. You've got 2 little kids, a very funny looking dog as well. I've seen him, so very him or her, I'm not even too sure. Yeah. But how do you stay motivated, and what is there that you do when you sometimes feel that you might not have had the best day? Is there any advice that you can give everyone out there? Yeah,
like I had many pretty bad days when it comes to, like, especially after pregnancies, but like everything has a reason. Like you just need to be honest with yourself, like how how you build up to things, what you take into account, like your life situation. I think in general, we are often pretty hard on ourselves, and we just need to learn to be as you would be to a friend, like say, you did really well, like maybe not what you wanted, but you did really well anyway. So I'm just, I'm trying to be kind to myself.
Yeah, I think that's also not the easiest for many people out there, but it's good to it's good to hear that even the superhumans who run races and finish strong have the same feelings.
Mhm.
And I think when you said about being kind and being grounded a little bit, I think that's what NNormal and we as a brand are also. I think we are, what gives us the power of us as a brand right now is that, in my opinion, and for all of us, we are very relatable. So you can see that what we live and breathe as a brand and everyone working for this brand. And you also see it reflecting in our designs and how we do the messaging about us and what ingredients we infuse into our footwear or apparel or accessory models. So I think if you look at the Girac, for instance, I think we have in the office 5 different ways to pronounce this shoe. So it's really interesting. Maybe for the community, you can give a shout out of how you pronounce it.
Yeah, Skjerag is like the Norwegian, how you kind of pronounce it up here. And as it's coming from a mountain, the name is from a mountain up here.
Exactly. I think we could also talk a little bit about that, because I'm not even sure if the community is aware. I just said about the storytelling, but it's so big for us, the element, because we don't want to connect to you with our products. We want to connect to you with our story, and we connect these two worlds. So the Girac is called, like you say, according to a mountain. I think apparently Killian's favorite mountain. Is it the same for you?
I'm not sure if it's Killian's favorite mountain, actually. But it's a very nice one. But it's a beautiful one up here.
Maybe one that challenges him, because I think that's exactly what we wanted to do, So when we designed the Girac with all its functions, it was really important for us that we have a simple design element. So I've heard that quite a bit in the industry now, that people look at the shoe and I was like, oh, this is quite simple. But this is exactly what we were after, and what we are after is this humbling simplicity as the design element of the Girac. Okay, so it's all infused with the best technologies out there, but we are not really talking about this a lot. We just rather want the shoe to amaze the people using it on the trails. Okay, so we've got really, this is the shoe and the silo that is for us as a co-athlete. So we really infuse it with the best technologies. We have Matrix as an upper. We have this super light midsole, which is a bit of a new type of EVA that is developing in the trail industry, coming from the road, but also in trail, you get this EVA based, but it's in the molding process or in the creation process, it's infused with an element to make it even lighter and to have an even higher rebound. So that's why you can feel like you can run in the shoe for a very long time. And then we have a full length outsole as it as well to offer you the best grip. So you can really see we're infusing it completely with the best technologies. And the Tomir, I think we could even put this into the chat, Francisco, but I wonder if the people know what Tomir is. Should we give it a try?
I saw it was a question, so.
Is it?
Yeah.
So yeah, if people want, if our community wants, and this is the second challenge, being number one, how you pronounce Girac. If you know what Tomir means, you can write it on chat, and let's go. If people know what's the origin of the name. Girac, okay.
Girac.
Yeah,
I need to remember that. That's a good way of writing it. I should propose it to the designers next time.
We should put it now under Jorgen's copywriting. So, but yeah, it's a good suggestion. Yeah. So we have already an answer from Sophie saying Tomir is a mountain in Mallorca. So correct.
Yeah,
correct answer.
that's all. 10 points for Sophie. If I look at here, she was also the first one to answer this, and that is exactly right. And this is where we bring both worlds together. So Killian as a co-founder living in Norway, but also Emelie, you from there, we fusing this together then, but also staying very close to us and our heritage, our other silo, which is more for the outdoor enthusiast, we call it the Tomir. So we are really sticking really strongly to our values and to what we do every day. And the Tomir is a mountain in Mallorca. It's actually right behind me. I see it every day when I look over my laptop. And it's also not an easy one, I must say. It's not an easy one. It's 1,100 meters high. For many listeners, most probably not very high, but it's also a little bit more of a technical terrain and a trail. So here you can see why in Mallorca, why you need the super great lugs and the lug profile that we have. So definitely the Vibram technology that we do, mixing light base and mega grip together to get this element of lightness in the shoe, is the best that we can have, not only for Mallorca, but basically in any other trail. Then Emelie, can I ask you one more question? I'm getting a little bit sidetracked. I want to talk product, but I'm also so curious to speak to you.
Sure.
And ask you as well a little bit more besides product. Even you as a person, you speak a lot about curiosity and you want to stay as curious as possible. What are you most curious about?
Oh, yeah. At the moment, I must say that I'm curious about how will I handle the training to run the World Championship when we are in the Himalayas at 4,000 meters? So I'm curious, how will I I already made a master plan for it, but I'm curious if I will follow it or if I will need to adapt for it. I'm also curious, to see tomorrow where the sun is rising, which mountain it's coming over, because it's kind of changing every day now. I'm feeling when I'm in a balanced and happy and in a good place, I feel that I can be curious about everything. But if I'm really stressed, have too much to do, then I feel that I'm losing a bit of the curiosity. So when I'm curious, it's a good sign.
Okay, and when you say that, you asking yourself the question whether you will adapt to your training plan or whether you will stick to it. Are you one that follows the training plan very, very precisely generally, or are you also open to change and adapt in normal conditions?
Yeah, I'm pretty open to change and adapt, but I'm really I try to focus on quality sessions and okay, if I'm not feeling great today, I might do it tomorrow. But I'm also pretty I like to do things okay, this week I'm gonna run 100 kilometers and I'm gonna ski 6,000 meters. So I kind of I have it in the back of my head as well, what I want to do, and then how I do it. That can be more flexible.
Yeah. Okay, so a little bit adaptable to it, and this is, I feel, I can relate to that a little bit, I must say, to be honest, because I think we are such a young brand, and I come from also more of a big corporate setup, and what I find so astonishing and motivating over here is that we are agile and can have to change and adapt every single day, so to say, which is the beauty about it, about also being in the startup position that has high values, so
yeah.
Sometimes we come to work and then we have this cool new material idea, and then we want to follow up on this material idea. So there's a lot of changes and things that we have to adapt to.
Yeah, and Birte, about that, how do you see the brand? Yeah, maybe today, but also tomorrow and in the future.
Yeah, I think today, what we are and who we are, I would see us as really a humble startup in the big outdoor industry with very strong values that we don't only aspire to, but that each and everyone working for this brand really lives. Okay, so we have this internal board where we rate ourselves who runs which as fast as possible, who's coming out to run. So we're an awesome crew that gets together to enjoy the outdoors together. And I think where NNormal is right now, we have very precise collections. We have products in the market or in the industry and in the community with a really strong use case. And I think my aim in terms of being involved with product is that we want to keep our range really small and collected. We don't really want to grow massively in terms of style numbers and article numbers and having all these colorways. So we want to be as small as possible in order to give the athletes and our users what you need to have a great day in the outdoors. And I think if we go into future where I see us as a brand in 5, 10, 15 years, we also want to really play a role in innovation and changing up how we think about products. Okay, so the whole product or the whole concept about modularity, servicing models, how do we become even closer to you as a user and as a enjoyer of our products? How do we bring you in closer into our community? How can you use our products for longer? And I can tell you that we have really exciting projects in the pipeline to really have our people out there who are normal ambassadors or normal lovers even closer to the brand than what you feel it right now. And I think second of all, I hope and I aspire that we want to be as relatable as possible. I think we have a great team of ambassadors who showcase this. And I think there's one post from Dakota just recently where he said, you know, life is good, but life can be hard, and it's good to be both. And I think this is what makes us as a brand, being connected to you and everyone out there, really, really strong.
Super cool. Super interesting conversation. But can we just jump into the Q&A moment? Since we have at least 11 questions, and I was just reading all the questions. There are some funny ones. I'm pretty sure that we don't have like any challenging questions, so it's all good. So I will just join you on stage. And we have our first question from Ama, and this one is for you, Emelie. So what are your expectations in what regards participating in the Trail World Championships this year, besides like other than just having a blast? What are your expectations?
Yeah, if I'm gonna be honest, like with you guys, I'm not gonna say it out like on social media or interviews or anything, but I really, my goal is to be on the podium, and I'm working towards that. And I think I can be there if I get the work done.
Woo. Feel excited already, but we need we need to wait till June. So thank you, Aman, for your question. So for the second question, this is also really interesting, and Arno, thank you so much for this. So Arno's question is based on the trail running industry growth discussion. So we were talking about this in the beginning of this event. How do you feel about trail running being at the Olympic Games at one point? What are your thoughts about this? Maybe like Emelie, go ahead.
Yeah, like we see on the ski mountaineering, it will come to the Olympics, and I was like, okay, it can be fine. But the format, it's not like ski mountaineering. They do ski in a slope, and it's not what I love about the sport. And if you can keep what is trail running, then fine, like it can be okay. It can be like it will be a bigger audience, but I doubt that it will be trail running. I think it will be more like a loop on a dirt road or something like that.
Okay. And Birte, do you want to add something to Emelie's answer? What's your point of view?
Yeah, I mean, I know that there are many people out there in the industry very passionate about this topic, but I'm a little bit also with Emelie. I think it's really it's going to be a challenge to finalize the criteria of what is trail running, because that is the nice thing right now, that trail running is so diverse when it comes to how many vertical kilometers can you do, how is the terrain, you know. So some people who might run on certain easy trails consider that as trail running, but some who really smash out the biggest VKs call that trail running. So I think the terrain is so versatile that it's really tough to put it in a box into some qualification. But I think it really depends on how that will evolve.
Yeah. it's a wait and see situation, right? So because in the end, we are talking about a very like wild sport where like there are no, well, there are, but no boundaries, just you go out and run. Yeah, by looking to the Olympic Games might change the perspective and like the pros of the sport in general. So I don't know, thank you so much for the question. This one I would say that it's more for Birte. So what challenges do you find when creating a product that is sustainable and also durable? How the testing process works?
That is really one good question. And I think that is a question that many brands in the industry are asking themselves and also challenged by that topic. And I think we have to take a bit of a stand on this topic and what is sustainability and what is durability. We believe that there are certain elements in product types that are easier to achieve right now when it comes to sustainability. So for instance, on an apparel and on an accessory side, the material developments have been really ongoing to really create certain recycled content, or also the biomaterial in the industry right now is changing drastically. So a lot of innovation going into making these materials sustainable, but also performance orientated, but it is not easy yet to this. So in my opinion, and in general, sustainability does not always mean that it's the right level of performance. Sometimes these materials that are really still sometimes virgin based, then you do have some element of durability to it. So sometimes you might have a product that is fully sustainable, but then you have to replace it after running with a shoe for 200 kilometers, if even. So then you have to rebuy a new pair of shoe. Is that really sustainable? That is a question a lot of users have to ask themselves. Or would you then rather have one shoe that you can last over 800 kilometers, for instance, where you might then consume less? So I think there's a lot of movement where durability is also more important than having all materials in recycled content. But it's a tricky topic in the industry, I would say.
Yeah, but don't you say that it's like with everything you said, isn't that what makes at the same time the journey more exciting? Taking into account that, just like you said, one of like the things that we are trying to do is also to bring some innovation to the industry and to think about this topic, to have this problem to solve. Isn't it what makes the journey exciting?
Of course, no, definitely. Yeah. And I think this is also when you go into the topic of material sourcing, in terms of, I can get very much into the production of products now. You don't only think, oh, is this material recycled or not, but you also ask yourself the question, where does the material come from? So these are questions that many people didn't ask themselves many years ago, but now everyone involved in product creation, it makes you humble, it makes you think. Of course, you would like to source your materials as close as possible to your production site in order to limit the transport. So sustainability and the carbon neutrality or the carbon footprint has so many checkpoints to consider, and working in product creation, it keeps you on your feet for sure.
Now moving again to Emelie. I'm also looking for the answer to this question. So have you already decided which will be the shoes that we'll use on the World Trail Running Championships?
Which shoe?
Yeah.
That's a fun question. That was a fun question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I got a white one. It's actually special made, so I hope that the team will be fine because it's my favorite shoe. It feels a bit different.
Okay.
I can send a picture of it maybe if it's in the Telegram group.
Yeah. Just share with us. It's always good. Yeah.
It's basically a white one to paint your whole story of that race all over it, Emelie.
Yeah.
It's going to be, after the race, it's going to be a piece of art, so with lots of colors. So let's go back again to Birte. So Nathan, one of our community members on Telegram, he's asking, so you mentioned that there will be event-specific drops, are there examples you are allowed to talk about yet? Or please feel free to disregard the question if it was a slip up.
No, oh no, I think that is definitely what I mean with doing drops is that we also when it comes to, we want to stay as well connected to the community. So in the future, you will see exciting things from us that not only link to product, but it links to how we combine our product with certain milestones in the trail community. It could be something exciting happening at certain races. It could be something exciting where we're supporting one of our ambassadors with their great causes that they are doing. So it is really all about how can we sometimes, not all the time, but merge our product and our storytelling and our coloration of our products to a really nice event or situation in the trail community, because this is how we believe we connect and how we want to connect, not via product, but we want to feel as close into the community as possible.
Okay, so maybe today we'll have the chance to answer to all the questions. Maybe and again for Birte, we have some questions that are more like yes or no, so maybe we can go with this one. So Diego asked if we will release or develop a running belt, yes or no, or we don't know.
Yes.
Okay, so Diego, here you go. There's one another one here that I saw.
That was my fun answer. I give snippets as well. I usually don't do that. Usually I'm quite sensitive to what we are launching or not, but with this one I gave you a bit of a bonus.
And I think this one it's easier, taking into account that, well, right now trail running is like the DNA of the brand. So Cyril is asking if NNormal will create a schemo product for next winter. So
maybe.
Okay.
No. We are now in the trail running space with our collection, and we are also designing our products. You know, we are moving away from this really precise activity thinking, and I think this is also something that we want to do. Our products in the future can be more and more used on a adaptive or a modular basis. I think this is how we create and how we challenge ourselves. So who knows what will come within the next 3 to 5 years.
Woohoo. Emelie, do you normally listen to music when you go out?
Not when I'm in the mountains. Sometimes if I do like a interval session, especially if I'm on the treadmill, I can listen to some music.
What's your favorite trail training or training song? Is there any favorite?
I actually have like playlists that I make like season by season. But I come back to one playlist and I have like a few songs by, I can also maybe, if I don't remember the name, I can maybe send it in the Telegram group. It's Imagine Dragons making a cover on Taylor Swift.
Oh, wow. What a good mix. Okay. So we have at least 3 more questions. And this one, Birte, this one is for you from Arno. So about the shoes, how do you see the evolution of the Tomir, its design and materials?
Yeah, I think this is also a very good question. So we are thinking to create our products with a long life cycle. All right. So like I said, the key for us is not to think seasonal. We won't bring out a shoe in this season and then another one in the next. This is not our philosophy, and this is not what we are here to do. Like I said in the beginning, we want to change up the retail landscape a little bit. But what we do have is that we are constantly on the lookout to see how we can optimize our materials. There's a lot of innovation that is going on, especially in the midsole compounds of shoes at the moment, or even on the upper materials or on the outsoles. So after we have a long life cycle of, I would say, 3 to 4 years in the product, but if a product update makes a product even better, and that comes to the fact is that then maybe a bit lighter, that maybe will be a bit more in the
Birte, I think that we are having some problems with the internet connection. Can you hear us? Well, maybe we
Ooh, we
lost
lost
Birte.
her.
No worries.
No.
Let's continue and see if Birte comes back. Technical problems, which is all fine. Emelie, we have one more question for you. And how do you handle? Is it easy to handle um, like training time and family time? Is there any secret behind it?
We are very happy to have a kindergarten in the village. It's just like a few months ago that Ylva-Li started, like the youngest started there. So before then we were very like, okay, from 8 to 12, and then the other one was going 12 to 4. So like both me and Kilian are very organized. Like we need to be, because like we're doing different things, and I'm working with Moon Valley, and I want to work on the farm, and I also need to recover and rest and like train, and like being also present with the girls. Like, so we often try to train a lot during the week, and then we have some easier weekends. Like we might just do like 1 or 2 hours on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. Okay. So I think that we are already with 1 hour, and yeah, fortunately technical problems, but it's all good. Take into account that we are also talking about being a startup. The main focus is to find solutions, and luckily we have Emelie, and we also had some questions, but it's all good. Still smiling, but yeah, let's just finish. And before we go, obviously I would like to finish by saying, Emelie, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for being such an inspiring athlete. And taking into account that you still have like 3 months for training. All the best for training, and I'm sure that, and somehow you can feel it every time you go to the Telegram group. You can count with the support of the NNormal community. So it's such a pleasure to count on you. Not only as a member on Telegram, but in general as a NNormal ambassador, because for sure you represent in the best way possible the brand. So thank you so much. Tack, is it in Swedish, tack?
Yeah, and
Yes.
thank you. I'm very, very happy to be here.
Awesome. So just to finish, for the ones that, and Birte is back.
Ooh.
Hi, welcome back.
Had a bit of had a bit of a technical
No
here,
worries.
but
No worries.
see, this
No
is what I
worries.
said. This is what I said about being agile in a startup. You think quickly. Back
Yeah,
here.
living on the edge, living on the edge. No worries. So I just did with Emelie. I will do exactly the same with you, Birte. So we were already closing the event, but before moving to the final part of the event, let us just or we would like to thank you so much in this case, because I did it already to Emelie. Thank you so much for all your work, Birte, and thank you so much for sharing not only the snippets, but also the information that I'm sure, and take into account the information that we get from our community, that people like to hear all the stories, all the the details about the shoes. And I'm pretty sure that even though you are not officially a NNormal ambassador, you are truly an ambassador. You dress the t-shirts, and because we can feel that you are super passionate about this journey. So thank you so much for that, and for being with us on this event. And just like I was saying to our members, so thank you once again for joining us today, and for being part of the NNormal community. We hope that somehow you found that this event was inspiring, and that you can also, or you can feel ready to take on new challenges in your running journey. Just to remind you that we will share with you the video recording on this event, whether on the newsletter, but also on Telegram. And before you go, we would like to remind you that you can stay connected with us either by subscribing to our newsletter, but also by subscribing to our Telegram group. I will share you the link. If you are not yet on our newsletter, please feel free. If you'd like to join the Telegram group, we are already more than 4,000 events. 4,000 members, and representing more than 50 countries at the moment. So super happy for that. And by joining the community, you'll be the first to know about our latest products, our events, and obviously you will get access to exclusive content. But we invite you not to join the community, but we would like to challenge you to take, for sure, your passion for running outside, to explore nature, and to push your limits. Let's make sure that we leave no trace behind and protect the environment. So get ready to lace up your shoes, hit the trails, and let's make every step count. Thank you for being part of the NNormal community. We can't wait to see you on your next event. Birte, Emelie, thank you so much, and have an amazing week. Thank you.
Thank you, Francisco.
Thank you so much, Francisco. And Emelie,
you.
we speak soon, and hopefully maybe next time we speak about our specific developments.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.